The Elster Group is a world leader in the provision of advanced metering and smart grid solutions. The company's 170 years old. We have about 7,000 employees and operations in 38 countries, actually with a very significant presence here in the UK that includes manufacturing, service, installation and support. In terms of the solutions that we provide, they extend to electricity, gas and water. So we provide advanced metering solutions to utility customers, and we also provide solutions through our subsidiary Energy ICT to private and public sector enterprises such as the NHS. The solutions themselves essentially extend from meters, if you like, the plain meter that many people don't probably notice when they walk into their home or into their business, through to the communication layer that sits on top of this, all the way up to meter data management, which is increasingly important nowadays in the context of having a far richer understanding of energy consumption and so on. So very much working in energy conservation, energy preservation, which of course is very high on the agenda nowadays of the community at large, politicians and so on.
Advanced metering infrastructure is a term that comes from the grids, the utilities. It is the whole set of components that build a solution in order to capture energy consumption data from meters, transport it, communicate it to a central communication platform, a database, where it can be handled, analyzed, turned into bills. Elster Energy ICT offer a whole set of products that build an energy management solution in order to achieve that energy reduction. It is key that certain challenges are overcome. It is key to provide information to the staff, how much one consumes in a certain department, to allow them interactively to change eventually a set point, to say, well, if we consumed last week 120 kilowatt hours in this department, we'd like to go to 100. We believe by changing our behavior we'll be able to achieve that. So one of the components that Elster Energy ICT provides is an energy dashboard. It's an interactive screen that presents in real time what the consumption is per department, per type of activity. Another challenge in building an efficient solution is not to limit it to just electricity, which is the first utility that one would want to manage. But we also have to look at gas, at water, at steam, at compressed air, heat, cold. So the challenge that this brings is that we need a solution that is capable to communicate with different types of energy meters and gather that information into a central computer and into a central platform. And that's also what we, Elster Energy ICT, bring. Elster producing electricity, gas, water meters, and Energy ICT adding there the communication technologies, the product that really takes the information out of the meters and put it on an IP network using RF, GSM, GPRS to push that information to that database. And as I said, it is also key to learn from other sites, other hospitals, and see how well they behave there, how well they manage their energy consumption. If, for instance, they have a best practice and achieve 100, which would be a very good key performance indicator, and in another hospital they use 120, too much, well, that best practice should be implemented in those less performing hospitals or sites, and with the software, by analyzing, comparing comparables, correcting for number of patients, because if you have more patients you should be allowed to consume more, but our software will allow to correct it, to normalize it in order to really compare apples with apples, and really allow to implement energy saving, energy costs reduction programs. And once you have done that, you have to maintain this. Again, the software there will help to monitor those best performing practices, those key performance indicators, and will trigger alarms, send messages to the energy users, to the users looking at the dashboards that they are not performing well this day, and get them back in track in order to achieve that goal of energy consumption reduction, and by this means also reducing the CO2 footprint.
We have an advanced metering infrastructure. We measure the main utility electricity coming in, water, gas and electricity, and we break that down even further into sub-metering. so we can analyse various parts of the store and see where our electrical consumption is going. Yeah, the energy display unit has two dials at the top. One's analysing how much electricity the store's used year to date. The next one analyses how it did last week, or how much electricity it used last week. You've got a league table up there, how it's performing as a relative size against other stores within a group. And you've also got carbon information at the top as well, how over the last 2 years, how much carbon it's saved. And underneath that, you've got a second row of dials, which indicates the various areas, up to 5 different areas: bakery, refrigeration, HVAC, lighting, and the petrol filling station. And that details how much electricity they're using as like an entity in themselves. One of the successes we've had so far is this store that we're in today. We installed the energy display unit and noticed that the petrol filling station dial was actually well into the red. When we walked across there, following the next tips on the screen, we noticed that the lights under the canopy were all on during daylight. So we resolved this issue, and that's moved back into the green, and it saved us about 21,000 kilowatts per year.
So the NHS faces a growing demand, clearly, for the services that it provides to the community. And these services need to be provided against the backdrop of increasing budgetary pressures. Now, given that, I think that there's an opportunity here to look for efficiency opportunities to free up resources that can be used, channeled to meet those growing needs. And energy management, energy consumption represents one clear opportunity to free up resources. There's no doubt in my mind that by installing advanced metering infrastructure and actually using that to better understand what's being consumed and how to actually consume it more effectively, more efficiently, will provide better resource management. It will free up resources that can be channeled elsewhere.